Hi there, everybody. I'm Jennifer Angel. This is just a small note, quick overview for 2023. I hope the year has started off well for you and you have some fabulous things planned. There's certainly some movement this year, like three major outer planets are going to be moving. So it's very significant. So let's just have a little chat about that. I mean, first of all, Pluto. Now, Pluto will stay in a sign anywhere between 9 and 30 years. Okay, so it's been in Capricorn and it still is in Capricorn, but March the 23rd, it's going to make a move into Aquarius. However, it's not really going to stay there that long this year. I mean, and from next year, 2024, it really has, starts its transit into Aquarius more proper. Okay, so it will go back and on June the 11th, it will retreat back into Capricorn. So, in Capricorn, it's more about, and let's just say Jupiter is a very powerful planet. It's called the power planet. It's a planet of transformation. Now, it really sort of helps you, and it rules. Something else about Pluto is that it rules the 8th house. It rules Scorpio. Scorpio has two rulers. The original ruler is Mars, also, another sort of powerful planet. But in Capricorn, it was really about uncovering anything business-wise. And I think by memory, when it first moved into Capricorn, all that Ponzi scheme started to sort of surface. So if something's not going right, or it's like under the radar, and it's not on the right side of integrity, let's say, then Pluto really can uncover it. And of course, when all that Ponzi scheme was going on, that was like just perfect with Pluto in Capricorn, because Capricorn is all about business. Not all about business, but being a Capricorn and ambitious and a bit of a workaholic, then I certainly know about Capricorn. I know that I have a lot of Capricorn followers too. So hello to all you Caps. So when it moves into Aquarius, it's a totally different vibration. I mean, the Capricorn and the Aquarius energy are really quite opposite, because, Capricorn likes stability and likes to build things up and tradition. Aquarius is like non-traditional, like anything that's a little bit different and a little bit sort of wacky. And also the Aquarian energy is like the sign of humanity or humanitarian sign. I mean, I have an Aquarian girlfriend. I mean, she just simply cannot walk past a homeless person without giving them a couple of bucks, and I think, yeah, that's very Aquarian. I have Venus in Aquarius, so I have some of that as well. But the Aquarian energy is like there's two distinct or a few distinct sides to the Aquarian energy. Like one, they're social and they like to connect with people. But two, they love their freedom as well. I always think that Aquarius are one of the most misunderstood signs, because what happens is they like to go away and have their little time. They go to the goddess tent or their male cave, and then other people sort of think, is everything okay? Did I do something to upset you? No. It's nothing to do with the other person. It's all to do with Aquarius, because it's an air sign, even though the symbol is the water bearer. They're an air sign. So they like to sort of be in their head. They have to sort things out. And really, some signs like Gemini, for instance, and another air sign, like to sort things out by talking it out. Not so much with Aquarius. They like to sort of have their little, goddess tent or their cave, and they sort of go away and they sort of cut people off. I mean, textbook Aquarians they're a little aloof, and that's where that, or standoffish, and that's where that comes from. So if you're involved, just, digressing a little here, involved with an Aquarian person, don't take it personally, because chances are it's really nothing to do with you, okay? It's all about them sorting stuff out within themselves and having space to do that. So the best advice I could give you, if you're involved with an Aquarian, either on a romantic or a friend or even a business level, or any relationship, is to just allow them to have the time to do that without you being vulnerable and needy about thinking it's to do with you. Because as I said, chances are 9.5 or 9.9 is really nothing to do with you. So let's get back to Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius, so let's keep in mind, Aquarius loves the freedom. It loves, like, if there's a cause where someone's being treated badly or an underdog, then guess what? Aquarian is going to go out and be their cheerleader. They're going to be their support. They're going to be their coach. They're going to be there to say, help them. They will help the people who can't help themselves. I have not done a research on the sign that's mostly the philanthropists in the world, but I bet you it's Aquarius, or people who have a strong sort of, Aquarian influence in their chart. So, so with Pluto in Aquarius, there's going to be this sort of factor about it. It's going to be like, and let's not forget, Pluto is transformational. It's powerful. If something's happening in the world that's not right, they're going to stand up, and they're going to stand up strongly, and they're going to protest, and they're going to make their voice heard, okay? And they're going to stand up for the rights of the people who have been hard done by. So, let's just see what happens there, because, if anyone's been unjustly treated, then all those Aquarians are going to come out, and not just Aquarian, because it's the Pluto energy in Aquarius. So first of all, you want to have a look at how it's relating to your sun sign. And in this case, it's Aquarian for Aquarians, it's like your first house. So, it's about you, and it's about you making a stand, and it's about you keeping your promises to people. If it's Capricorn, it's in the second house. It's about money and so on. And I won't go through all the signs and houses here today, and then of course you want to look at your personal chart. Okay, personal chart, the chart work. I love chart work. It's so intense. It's so revealing, and so very valuable and helpful for people. And so I would encourage you to, sorry, I had to go away and sneeze, and so I'm back. I would encourage you to really either find out where your planetary positions are in your chart, and you can do that. You can get that online for free. Find somewhere to download it, or you can book a session with someone like me or another astrologer. Excuse me. And that's sort of really helpful to have that information, particularly right now this year with these major moves, and just to see what influence that's going to have on your life. Okay. And it's chart work is surprisingly accurate. It's amazing what information and guidance comes out of that. So yeah, so that, as I said, it's going to like from March the 23rd to June the 10th, it's going to move into, but then it'll go retrograde and go back into Capricorn. And then I think, I don't have the exact date in front of me, the end of the year, or from I think the start of 2024, it'll start its long transit stay in Aquarius. So yeah, it's a powerful placement which can really show up in world affairs. Okay, so yeah, that's watch that. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so the next planet that I've got listed here, major move, is Saturn. Okay, so I mean, of course, Saturn gets a bit of a bad rap because people, think, oh, Saturn's hard, it's hard work. Of course, being a Capricorn, Saturn is the Capricorn ruler. It's also a co-ruler of Aquarius. So we have that vibratory energy still in Aquarius. As Pluto moves through, it sort of takes some of that Saturn energy with it. And so, as it's the Capricorn ruler, then I've sort of come to love it. And love might be a strong, too much of a strong word, but I've come to terms of it and to see how it's helpful. I mean, so anything that comes under a Saturn energy and vibration is really long term. Saturn likes to set things in order, set things in place. It's not frivolous. It's like, let's get serious about this. Excuse me. Let's get serious about this. Let's what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Let's get plans. Let's set goals. Let's set solid foundations, and let's step by step move forward and put things into process and make our life happen. Okay. So in that sense, it's great, it's a great, all the planets have their good and the bad sign, as do all the sun signs, okay? So one of the things that I really love about astrology is that when you do the chart work, it really gives you permission to be who you are, okay, with no apologies, okay? And because excuse me, I really believe that the more that we know who we are and the more that we love ourselves, I know it's an old cliche, but it's true, and the more that we can love, accept, and come to terms with who we are, the good, bad, the icky bits, and all the beautiful bits, then the more comfortable and self-assured and confident that we can be. And the more that we are, I've gone off on a little tangent here, I realize, and the more that we can get in that space, the more that we can offer those qualities to other people, okay? The less vulnerable, the less needy we become, the more self-actualized we can come. So yeah, so Saturn, so yeah, Saturn can be a little tough, but it's a great energetic planet as well. Okay, so once it stays, Saturn does, and you probably heard the term your Saturn return. Okay, so every, let's say 29 years, then the Saturn will go right around the zodiac and it'll return to the place it was in your personal birth chart when you were born. And so over this time, in your Saturn return, and generally it'll kick in about 18 months before you'll feel the sort of change happening, you're getting ready for it. And so during your Saturn return, I mean, you can have 1, 2, or, if you're lucky enough to live long enough, then you can have 3 Saturn returns, okay? But generally major things happen. Like for instance, with me, when I was, around that age at 29, I sort of changed my career. I got married and I moved home, of course. So, 3 pretty major things happening in my life. That's like typical Saturn return. So, if you're sort of, into your 30s or older, you want to have a think back. What happened in your Saturn return? Like what changes sort of took place there. So in that sense, it can be a little confronting, yes, because any change, and a major change in our life, puts us right out of our comfort zone. We get really uncomfortable. Life becomes sort of messy or different, even if it's a great change, like you're getting married or changing your job or something. It's still like a difference in your life that you have to incorporate into your life and, step into that change. So, excuse me. So in that sense, excuse me, I've got like a little sort of entertainment throat relief thing, which one of my private clients suggested. So it's, really good. Thank you very much for that. So in that sense, it's exciting. And so, yes, confronting, but also very, very exciting. It takes us sort of into another area. So Saturn has been in Capricorn for, let's say 2.5 years. And so it's around about that time in each sign. And it's going to move into, on March the 7th, it's going to move it was in Capricorn and it went from Capricorn to Aquarius. And on March the 7th, it's going to move into Pisces. So this is the last sign in the zodiac. And so, Saturn when Pisces is not a terribly comfortable fit, because Saturn is more of a heavy energy and Pisces is very light and inspirational and imaginative and a little bit sort of excuse me, fanciful. And, so it can be a little bit of a difficult sort of placement in that sense, but there's always two sides to the coin, okay? And because this is the end of the cycle, the end of the zodiac cycle that it's going into, it's going to help us all just go within. Okay, now everything starts from within. All right, now I know this is sort of a bit of a cliche as well, but it's so true. I mean, yes, we're spiritual beings, but yes, we are here in a physical life, but we are spiritual beings. I really believe that. And so we start from the inside, what's happening on the inside. So the Saturn in Pisces does help us go within. It does help us get real. So here's the challenge, because, the Pisces energy doesn't like to get that real. When things get so real, Pisces can start to shut down or, go into something else that distracts them. And so, with the Saturn in Pisces, it's like, we're going to get real about your life, okay? All those things, that visualization, all your dreams, hopes, and wishes, because that's that 12th house that it sits in. Let's make that happen. So in that sense, I mean, is it going to be uncomfortable? Oh, yeah. Just get ready for that, but also remember, you need to get uncomfortable to change your life, okay? Unless you're uncomfortable, your life gets a little bit messy. Guess what? You're stagnating. You're not changing. You're not growing. You're not transforming. You're not self-actualizing. You're not making your dreams come true. You're just staying in that spot. So Saturn's going in Pisces. It's going to help us all just get real. Okay, what is it? And it's coming into it March the 7th. So you'll start to feel, it gets into what we call a critical degree, and it intensifies. So you'll start to feel that energy now, start moving on. So get ready for that. And first of all, as I said, it's all about you. Okay, you've got to start with you. So as soon as you start to get a little uncomfortable, or you start to project outwards, like, well, you didn't do that, and I'm in this position because you did that, just like stop. Okay, go within, like, how can I step into this? How can I make changes? Because, you know, that term, the buck stops with you. Welcome to Saturn in Pisces, okay? So it's like you're going to get down to business and it's going to be amazing, okay? So just sort of keep thinking, this is amazing. Is it a little difficult? Am I feeling a little comfortable? Hell yeah. But you know what comes out of it, if you just stick with it and just push through. And I remember one of the books that really was so significant to me on my early journey of spirituality and metaphysics, like, you know, when I was probably 20 or so, more years than I want to admit to, was a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And it was by someone called Jeffries. I should find out exactly what her name is, because it really was a significant sort of book in my life. And, you know, this is really about, you know, Saturn in Pisces, like just feel the fear and do it anyway, okay? And you don't have to do huge steps. Some people will, like the Aries and the Scorpios, well, and the Leo, they'll all take like huge bounds, like, you know, bring it on. But, you know, it's not necessary. You just want to do one step at a time. And if those one steps at a time are small steps, then guess what? You're still moving forward, okay? Congratulate yourself. Like, yay, I did this. I did this, okay? Because as I said before, no one else can do your transformational work for you. No one. You have to do it, you know. And as Mel Robbins says, I follow her a little bit, and she'll say, no one's coming to save you. The first time I heard that, I thought, oh, that's a little tough, but you know what? It's true. You know, the buck really does stop with you, and Saturn's going to help us just like get over what keeps us stuck. And guess what? We all have that. Even the masters, the neuroscientists, we're all working through things at some level. Okay, so never think that you're alone. Never think that you know, you can't do it, because you can. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the last one, which is Jupiter. And Jupiter makes a move every year. So Jupiter goes around the zodiac, like spends like 1 year approximately, you know, give or take about 1 year in each sign. So it takes 12 years to go right around the zodiac. So we have like a vibratory energy transiting change with Jupiter every single year. So this year it's going to move from Aries. And so I love Jupiter in Aries because I think I love Jupiter in every sign, honestly, to be truthful, because I mean, I just love Jupiter. You know, Jupiter and Venus, two favorite planets, and when they're together, they're my favorite interaction. Planetary interaction. But you know, Jupiter in Aries, which is in, you know, right now, is, you know, it just like Jupiter brings opportunities, and Aries just grabs the opportunity and wants to like, hey, let's do this, let's run with this, let's, you know, do it, because Aries is impulsive and it's a fire sign, it's action oriented, it belongs in that first house. So, you know, it's a focus on themselves, and with Jupiter, because you know, Jupiter also is a sign. Jupiter is a planet of the soul. I don't think you'll find that in a textbook, but for me, it's the planet of the soul. It rules the 9th house, and I always feel that the 9th house is house of the soul, and the 12th house, of course, too. And so the two of them together is, you know, it's just like pushes forward, makes things happen. But you know what? You have to recognize the opportunity. You have to notice it. So Jupiter will bring the opportunity. But if you're asleep or, you're just spending all your time watching the Netflix. And don't get me wrong, I love Netflix. It's my wind down at the end of the night. But, you know, you too much of it, in my opinion, then you can miss what's going on in your life. And in this sense, you can miss the Jupiter opportunities that come through. Because Jupiter is all about growth and expansion, okay? Not all, but, you know, they're two big words that describe Jupiter for me anyway. And so in Aries, it's great. So we've still got, like, it's in Aries through to May the 16th. So, you know, this first quarter is driven, but as I said, you have to notice the opportunity, and not as every opportunity that comes across your, you know, your desk or your email or, you know, friend going to be suitable. No, but some of them will. And this is where you need to tune into your instinct, like, oh, well, that looks good. But how does it feel? Okay. And so, you know, when it all fits into place for you and it all feels right, it looks right, and you know, you decide to go ahead, like, you want to pay attention, notice, and then act. Okay. And so this first quarter, or 5 months over a quarter, then you want to really sort of pay attention to the things that the universe is sending you. And of course, before you do that, you want to pay attention to what you're putting out to the universe. Okay, once again, all starts from within. So when Jupiter moves into Taurus ruled by Venus, okay, so we've got the Jupiter and Venus energy there. I love that. I just like Jupiter in Taurus is just going to be so yummy, it really is. And it's going to stay in Taurus, say, from May the 16th this year right through to May the 25th next year, 2024. So this is going to be a great time. Taurus likes to set solid foundations too, okay? And Taurus is about, it's about building those foundations. It's ruled by Venus, so it's still about relationships, but it's about the relationship that you're having with yourself, because that second house where Taurus sits is also the house of health. It's a house of self-worth. So in this sense, it's going to be like, how worthy do you feel of attracting what you want in life? Okay. And so once again, you got to do the inner work, you got to do the transformational work. I mean, and I would encourage each and every one of you to either get a coach, subscribe to a program, or just spend a lot of time on YouTube. YouTube, there's like, if you don't have the budget for any or all of that, well, guess what? There's a mountain of free information on YouTube. So make it like make a commitment, like once a day you'll listen to some information, some self-development information on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, that would be my advice to you, particularly coming up with Jupiter moving into Taurus, excuse me. So a Taurus can be a little indulgent as well. So, you know, you want to get like, try, you know, for this first quarter up to there, focus on getting your finances set, like focus on getting money put aside, focus on getting rainy day money. You know, do we really need another pair of shoes? Don't answer that. But you know what I mean. So, you know, so then if you want to be a little indulgent over the year that Jupiter is in Taurus, then you can, you know, it's nothing wrong giving yourself a treat, you know, as long as it's not gonna, as long as, you know, you're living within your means, of course. The other thing with Jupiter in Taurus is real estate is going to be really big too. So if you're in a position to invest in real estate, then opportunities can come through, you know, for for that. And it will give you a strong sense of your goals and a strong sense of what you want to achieve. And not only that, but the people that you want to work with, because don't forget, we have the Venus energy there, and Venus is about connecting with people because, you know, guess what? Everything we do has some type of a relationship, okay? You might have a relationship with your boss, your friend, your pet, you know, your partner. And so we learn through relationships and we get a lot of joy through relationships. So we're going to have that influence coming through as well, and also stability. So yeah, I'm, you know, I mean, there's certainly some challenges this year. I don't want to sort of, you know, rose color glass it too much, sugarcoat it too much. There's certainly some challenges, but, you know, the more, I know I'm repeating myself here, but the more that you can get in touch with you, then the better and the more progress you're going to make for this year, okay? All right, so, you know, of course, there's a lot more happening. I mean, we've got the eclipses. I'm going to cover that with a separate video. The first eclipse comes in April, May, and then the other eclipses are in October. The second lot of eclipses, and of course there's Mercury retrograde all the way, you know, through the year, so we'll cover them as separate. So I'm going to close off now. Wish you all the very, very best for 2023. Let's not forget that 23 also is a royal star number, so it's a higher vibrational number, which also will help us, every one of us, to walk the path of our own heart and not be in the shadow of other people, okay? All right, so once again, if you feel that you would like some help reaching your full potential and walking the path of your heart, and you're drawn to coaching, then I'm going to put in the, you know, down below, you can book a discussion with me, a coaching discussion, okay, to see whether it's something that's going to be good for you. And a lot of people start off with my self-mastery program and then go on to coaching. I am going to do some online courses this year as well, so there'll be different price points, all right? Okay, so much love and vision to you, and as always, to your success. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.